This is Fano from An Hour with Wolfpack, and this is my segment Steppin' Out of Babylon, and this is day 64. Today's date is March 25th, 2016. And today I just had my normal morning diet. Then I had a salad. And then I had a kefir smoothie, and I think I had a kombucha. Thoughts are about the same. I do say the idea of drinking has becoming more of an effect. I don't know, it's just because everyone socializes through drinking, or maybe like life when you're living in the hamster cage. You just kind of want to like escape or feel something different versus how much bullshit everything is. But I'm staying strong and not doing it because it's just sugar and it's not good for the body, and I don't know, it's pretty easily addicting. But today though, I watched that movie, I think it's called The Big Short, and that's just about how all the loans in America are back in like 2008, where like the bubble crash or whatever, like the bubble pop of the house. Like basically, they gave people loans to everyone who couldn't really afford it. Then their interest went up or something, and basically people had default in it. And like in the movie at the end, it just shows like, oh, all the banks knew about it, but then they get bailed out, so they got paid on top of getting paid on top of getting paid. And then some people figured out the loophole and invested in things inside those loans and made money. But it's just trying to show people how corrupt, I guess, the banks are. But the realization, if people never really realized how corrupt the banks are to begin with, is pretty crazy. But good for that movie for showing people how evil it is. But I already kind of knew about it. And then you kind of think about life when you're poor, or even if you're like middle class, like you're working all the time. And then there's just some people that are born into wealth, or their family has wealth, and you know they're at the top tier of money, and their whole life's just completely different. But I mean, are they healthier? Are they less stressed? No, highly doubt it. Maybe some of them have like the higher. I don't know. Maybe they. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really found too many rich people or people in a spotlight that are have a crap ton of money, who like don't drink or like eat really clean or have some like health resort for people to go to, or there really is no one. So I think making that much money, you just become corrupt to begin with. Because it's also like, what's the point? Like, it doesn't really cost. I mean, I'm pretty poor and I can have a pretty healthy diet with not that much money. So if I had like a limited money, I mean, the reality is there's only so much food you can eat. And, so what would you do with that money? Even if you started like your own like castle village and help people, like grow food and stuff, like, I don't know. I just think like living that lifestyle, you're going to eat bad and do all those things. So I don't know. There's the idea of like, oh well, people, what if everyone was aware of all that stuff that's going on? Would stuff change or anything? And to be honest, I don't know. I mean, if you think about the world in itself, how long it takes to get this way or to be what it is, or say it's been like that forever, you know, why would it magically have a 360 change? So I mean, like the most people could ask for is less evil, you know. But I think though, even if you have like less thought of evil, people would still be polluting their body and eating bad food and doing all this stuff. Because even like the real conscious people, like they choose not to do all that stuff, and they might have a job they like, and yada 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 yada. Their life's perfect, but the reality is, all around the world, people are suffering, and maybe that suffering has to be there to for good to come out. But at the same time, the realization is that will it ever end? And I don't know, maybe we'll figure it all out once we die and be like, oh, that's what life kind of was. Or maybe like life is just as simple as people say it is. It's just an experience and you're just supposed to live it. Regardless if you're eating bad stuff or doing whatever you want. I mean, as long as it makes you happy, then you're okay. I mean, as long as you're living, you're alright. I mean, as long as I'm eating healthy stuff, I shouldn't really get sick. But, you know, I could do more, and I could do more other things. But, I mean, the reality of it, it's like, I don't want to have zillions of dollars. I mean, I would like my own, like, farm, and maybe, like, start, like, a little mini village. But even then, I might start it. I might not like it. You know, I might just want to be completely away from everyone, so... I don't know. That's the thing with life. You set all these goals, and then once you get to the goal, then you're like, okay, what is now? Or you might be like, well, I didn't really like that, you know? Like, stuff what I realized that thought is more, at least to me, more intriguing than actual things. Like, a thought of, like, desire for, like, some woman you see. You know, for me, it's, like, amazing. Then you get to know her. Maybe she's not as cool as you thought. And that ruined the whole thought of it. It's the same thing with food. Like you think of like a pizza or like I don't know a really good steak with other veggies and a good dessert and like the whole thought of it's good. And then you actually eat it, then it's gone, and then it's just kind of like well, it doesn't make you feel that good. You know, the initial eating it part felt good, but overall it wasn't that great. So. But that's the power of the mind. It's like they say you can trick your mind and do anything you want. And that's the advertisers figure it out. So you could totally think and do about whatever you want to do. And no matter how shitty your life is, you can always be happy. No matter how much things you got, your life can always be shitty at the same time. So I guess it's just be happy for what you got and what you do and what you love to do. And, you know, we're all corrupt. I mean, even if your thoughts are not corrupt, you probably eat bad food and that's corrupt. And let's just say you're pure on all those levels, spiritual or the mind, body, and soul. You're pure in all that. Then the outside world will still be corrupt. So... it's just the battle of the balance. That's what life's kind of all. It's all about the yin and the yang, and you know. But that's why I say everyone should have money. I mean, we should all be given like, I think like Finland passed. They give everyone like $1,000 a month just to pay bills. Everyone around the world should have. I mean, we should have to work just to live. We should work to like do extra things. Like working to live is not really productive for human people's consciousness. So on it like that, and this is Fano from Hour with Wolfpack, And this is my segment, Steppin Out of Babylon, and it's day 64. Today's date is March 25th, 2016. And I hope everyone lives with love and compassion, because if you don't love yourself, then you can't love anybody else.